Okay, here for our next practice, our next learn it, so you can practice it. I'm gonna start with my same two colors that I used here, just for sake of comparison. And I'm going to do a value scale, not like 4 separate values. I'm gonna do a value scale in a box. So these, how to see if your paints are still wet. I'm gonna lay the side of my hand on where I painted. It's been a few minutes, about 5 minutes since I've painted those, and it feels cool, so it's not perfectly dry yet. And if those aren't dry, these aren't dry, so I'm not gonna touch those. So I'm gonna dip and wipe off the excess once. I'm gonna get some paint, and I'm going to leave a space in between those two, and I'm going to paint a value scale inside this box, and I'm going to scrub along those edges so that my color is pretty much even all the way across. I'm gonna have this end be my light end, and this end will be my dark end. So while this is still damp, I'm not gonna get more water on my brush. Don't need any more water. And I'm going to paint across, like about 3/4 of the way. And already you can see there, that end's lighter and this end's darker. And actually, over here, I'm gonna show you what happens when you paint an area and go back and paint part of it when it's dry. But I'll show you that in a couple of minutes after we finish this, because we don't want this to dry. And I'm not gonna get more water, I'm just gonna get more paint. And this time I'm gonna paint about halfway across. So it's lighter over here and darker on this end, but it's kind of gradual. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. And we'll see how much of the rest of our marker we can pick up. And I'm only gonna paint a 1/4 of the way across. Now I'm not gonna do anything else to it, I'm just gonna let it dry. All right, so your color, your value scales. Pick 4 colors to do value scales with. 4 seems like a good number. So you can kind of get an idea of how they all act. I'm just gonna do one more using this color, but you need to do 4. How many? 4. All right, rinse my brush, wipe off once, pick up my color. I'll just do this one down here. Let that sit for a minute. Do I dip my brush again? Nope, definitely not. I'm just gonna get more paint. And how far do I paint over? About 3/4 of the way. Let that sit. I'm gonna get some more paint. How far do we paint over this time? About half of the way. bit more paint, and then paint about a quarter of the way across. And just let it, don't do anything else to it, just let it dry. Now you pick 2 colors and do those. And when you're done with each one, or each part, take a picture of it and submit it to the assignment. So when you're done with your 4 value scales, you'll submit it to the assignment.